Yeah.
And I was, younger, so I wasn't like as good of a gamer as I am now, in a comparative sense. And the game was difficult for me. So I always just kept playing it because it's hard. I want to get better at it. It's hard. I want to get better at it.
I need to beat this.
I need to do the thing. And I got really obsessive about it at one point, and was starting to challenge myself because I did get good enough where the general difficulty of the game was, well within my means to handle, even as young as I was at the time.
Started taking on bosses without using their weaknesses and things like that.
Yep, fighting the guys with the Buster, going the bosses out of order, getting the upgrades in different orders, not getting certain upgrades, and various things. And I remember a friend of mine put me to the test of fighting Sting Chameleon with literally nothing. Not even the dash. Just go to Sting Chameleon's level, get through it, and fight him.
You might want to practice that, because if we do the remake of this, that I have, I will make you do that.
You talking about the PSP?
Yeah.
Oh, Sting Chameleon is a lot easier on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't you just love it when they remake a game and make it incredibly easy?
The whole
Get my ass
game.
kicked.
The whole game. I have Maverick Hunter X. I beat the whole thing with Vile and Mega Man, and overall, the whole game is much easier, in my opinion. I mean, I might have just had an easier time with it for other reasons. I don't know. Get zapped, bro.
I didn't dash for some reason.
No, you didn't.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, you
It's
should
fine.
be.
It's fine.
You're a sad
Also,
man.
you're weak. You started with Chill Penguin. You should have made things harder on yourself.
Ah.
You're weak.
But as I was saying, in this game, Sting Chameleon he's not that bad to just beat without upgrades and stuff. It's more than doable. None of his attacks really cause that much damage, or at least the one that does is pathetically easy to dodge, which is his tongue whip thing. If you're familiar with the game, it's very easy to dodge that. And it's just that his attack where he shakes the screen by hanging from it with his tongue and makes the spikes fall from the ceiling, for those watching who've never played it before or just don't remember, it's really hard to dodge those spikes. I mean, beating him without getting hit, even with his weakness, sometimes he can catch you with the spikes before you get the first shot of the boomerang off.
No,
and
are
you'll
those
just...
spikes instant kill?
No, they're not. They cause 2 bars of damage or something like that. They don't cause that much damage, but it's just hard to dodge them.
Yeah. I mean, it's objects coming from the top of the screen where you can't see them coming. So
I got to the point with my abilities where a friend of mine thought I was good enough where he should challenge me to beat Sting Chameleon with no upgrades of any kind, but without getting hit. And, which my initial response was, "You crazy?"
Yeah.
But I said,
why don't you do it, and then I'll see if I can.
And this is before I met either of you guys.
Yeah.
This is several years before I even met you guys. So we're talking. I was 11, 12 years old at the time, and I was like, okay, I'll try it because why not?
The courage of youth.
Yeah. So I played this game non-stop. Just this game, just that level.
Oh, jeez.
Non-stop. I would turn on the game. I would go through. Oh, well, actually, I'd put in the password.
Dashing skills.
I would put on the password to skip the intro level because who wants to do that over and over again? But I would load up the game, and go to Sting Chameleon's level and bust through his level, which of course I got really good at just tearing through his level really fast. By sheer virtue of playing it a million times. And just kept at it. I would keep at it. I kept playing it. 2 weeks straight, I did nothing but play Sting Chameleon's level and fight Sting Chameleon. And then I finally did it. Of course, I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and for those listening, I'm 31 years old right now.
We are old.
2 decades ago, people weren't exactly recording gameplay on the regular, so it's not like I had a capture card and we were doing a YouTube video. This is 2 decades ago.
All of our skills, our finest moments are long past us.
Yes. Unfortunately, I will never be able to duplicate some of the crazy things I did when I was younger, when I played one game obsessively for weeks at a time like that. But yeah, I finally did it, and it felt awesome, because I did this thing that I thought was impossible, and I was, a teenager, not even. So to me, that was the greatest moment of my life.
So this is how you humiliate Spark Mandrill.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I know it's cheap. I don't care.
Well, you were
I'll
talking
just
about...
jump above Blizzard Buffalo and make him turn around and just shoot him to death.
Oh boy.
What you were talking about actually reminds me of something that a lot of newer games lose touch of because of the whole achievement system and things like that. You know, that was something that you and a friend had challenged you to do, and you basically challenged yourself to really get done. And that's something that you feel accomplished for because it was a goal that you set out for yourself. Mm-hmm. Or even a matter of your friend would feel happy for you because you told, you know, you were able to like maybe demonstrate it in front of him, or at least tell him that you did it, and he'd be like, "Yeah, man, that was awesome, yeah." So, but that's what achievement lists nowadays have kind of lost touch of, you know, because it's like,
here's a pre-panned list of tasks that you can try and make yourself feel like a good gamer for pulling off.
You know, I mean, it's like, you know, you're not a true gamer unless you've got so high of an achievement score. It's like, I can be a true gamer without having to worry about some kind of businessman list that, you know, is given to me by the game. You know, it's. I just feel like the achievement list just eliminates so much of that from the game.
I agree. I mean, not to say there's anything wrong with achievements and stuff, because a lot of companies are really good about coming up with really creative achievements or trophies, depending on what console you're referring to. Of course.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, your online, you know, accomplishments.
Yeah.
The companies have gotten really good about that, about making ones that appeal both to casual gamers, like things that you're going to get just by playing through the game normally.
Yeah.
But also some ones that are more for extreme gamers, and doing a nice mix of the two. They've gotten a lot better at it in the last few years.
But it does feel a little patronizing when you get an achievement for turning on the game.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you know how to turn. You know how to hit the power button.
You did the video game.
I don't know. Since I brought up that Sting Chameleon story, I also would like to mention, for fans of Mega Man X3, or people who at least have a good enough familiarity with the game to have ever fought Blast Hornet without the gravity well.
Yep.
That's another one that's in Sting Chameleon's level of
get wrecked, son.
Doable without upgrades, but you're probably getting hit several times.
Yeah.
And I've done him without getting hit with the Buster only as well. And
wow.
That took some practice. But it actually took less practice than Sting Chameleon. Should be noted that anytime you get up there and collect that power up,
it counts towards the 3.
So yes.
I should have done it.
Yep. Yeah, it takes one off. It counts. The only one that you have to have all the upgrades for is the 5th time. The first 4 times you can have nothing and get up there, and it counts towards the Hadouken. Yeah, if there's anybody out there who isn't familiar with Mega Man X, you can get the Hadouken in this game.
I don't think that a person who's not familiar with Mega Man X exists, unless they're like 2 years old.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
you gotta keep. Well, go ahead, Dave.
Here's the thing. You keep talking about how, you know, the SNES was like your system, because, you know, was for your generation. Part of the reason why I would say that X4 is actually kind of my favorite game in the series is because the PlayStation was where I first really started playing console games.
Can I just interject for a second?
In the middle. In all honesty,
I need to interject something.
Kind of like late Super NES and early PS.
That after playing the Mega Man PC game, this is the breath of fresh air. This is the palate cleanser. We went from the worst Mega Man game to possibly the best.
Yeah,
definitely one of the best.
But yeah, the PlayStation was my generation of console. You know, it just came out and we were just starting to play, and I was around the age where I could actually start playing games for myself. And I think X4 was actually one of the first games that I played on the PlayStation.
Do I want to get Sting Chameleon's thing so I can cut off the octopus's tentacles?
Nah, you don't need it. You know, ironically, I think he's a little bit more annoying.
Without
the tentacles? No.
I think his homing fish attacks are a little easier to deal with between destroying the projectiles and dodging them than the stupid spread missiles, because the spread missiles move faster. That, and I don't really find Launch Octopus to be that difficult. In general, with or without his weakness. He used to be like the guy that I was afraid of. I used to think he was so hard back when I sucked at games.
Yeah.
And then I stopped sucking at Mega Man X and realized that, hey, Launch Octopus isn't that bad. I also used to think that Boomer Kuwanger was like the most horribly unfair, brutal, cheap, dumb, horrible.
He's
just
teleporting everywhere.
He moves so fast. I can't do it.
He's done on the screen, so I can't always hit him.
And honestly, he's not that hard for me to beat with just the Buster and no dash nowadays. Like I can handle Boomer Kuwanger without it. And I used to think like, oh man, you can't beat Boomer Kuwanger without the homing torpedo. You can't. The cake is a lie.
That's just the thing you can't do.
Oh no, you can't do. But then again, I was 11, 12 years old. Yeah. And I also thought that Blast Hornet and Mega Man X3 couldn't be beaten without the gravity well, and I proved that wrong.
Yeah, and for future playthroughs, people should probably remember this stage, because there's another horrible Mega Man X PC game that involves swimming. Yeah.
Just you know what? Switch to the Sparks and just jump behind it.
Really?
Just take the hits and just rail on it with the Sparks.
Ah. Yeah, I took a lot of weapon in.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like you need the Sparks in this level for anything else. Come on.
Yeah.
You have weapons. Use them.
Plus, it's
I'm so used to not using any of the weapons.
I've actually been doing that a whole lot more with the Symphony of the Night playthrough that I've been doing with my PSP. I've been using a whole lot more of the extra abilities. It makes the game so much easier. I mean, the game's easy to start off with.
Like the spells and stuff?
Yeah, well, I can't really master some of the different spells, but like using the shield rod with various types of shields.
Oh, the iron shield is so unfair.
Yeah, I know.
That game had a lot of balance issues.
Yeah, and also using the sub weapons to their utmost rather than just being like, hey, I'm just collecting hearts or money.
Since you brought up Symphony of the Night, and we're playing Mega Man X, but you brought this up and you started using the sub weapons to the fullest. I just want to point out. I have a lot of opinions related to gaming things that don't really adhere to the standards, if you will, such as
controversial decision, controversial opinion warning.
Yeah, apparently.
It's fine.
I am very fond of just holding on to the dagger for most of Symphony of the Night. I use the dagger a lot.
Don't let me on spikes. Okay.
Yeah, see the pillars in the background line up with the platforms? I have played this game way too much.
It's not a sin. It is okay.
No, it's not. I consider it to be
like I have too much money.
However, I do realize what you were talking about when it comes to the idea of how the holy water is so broken. I mean, even just the normal version of it.
Yeah, the normal holy water is pretty strong in most
cases. Yeah. I mean, I remember there are quite a few enemies where you're just like constantly trying to hit them and then avoid and hit them and avoid. But for the most part, they stand still. So just drop a couple of holy waters on them and usually takes care of them pretty quickly. You don't even have to worry about dodging them very much. Just get right in range, drop your holy water, and they're done. But anyway,
at least it's not using the cross on death in Castlevania 1, or using the holy water on death in Castlevania 2. No, the holy water on death in Castlevania 2 was even worse.
Oh,
like you straight up stun lock him. He just stops moving.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the same kind of effect.
So it's the holy water.
That's the same kind of effect that enemies have in Symphony. The same kind of effect. You just get stunned in place while they're constantly taking damage.
Well, bringing it back to Mega Man X, since that's what we're playing, and the X franchise in general, I remember noticing something.
Do we have to talk about the game?
Shut up.
It's probably
let him do the thing.
There's a trend that I noticed when I was really a lot younger, about the Mega Man X games, and it applied for most of the games. Is that the final boss or the penultimate boss was always Leak 2, like the worst weapon in the game. Yep. Just the most awkwardly applicable or weakest weapon in the game. In this game, it would be the weapon that Joe's using right now, the rolling shield.
Yep.
Which, as an offensive weapon, is awful.
Yep.
It kills him. Actually, it kills Vile pretty good too.
I've always used the seeking missiles on
Yes,
him.
the seeking missiles are great because they do a lot of damage and, you know, you don't have to aim. But this weapon actually does more damage to Vile, which is terrifying. It does like 6 bars of damage.
Let me correct myself. I don't normally use a weapon. I use a Hadouken on him.
Yeah.
I tend to not use the Hadouken ever. I usually get it and then just never throw it.
See, there's something else I like about the first 2 NES games, Super Nintendo
The
games.
Insta-kill Street Fighter moves.
Well,
I was waiting for X3 to have a hurricane kick.
That was more of a reward for better players because you had to be at full health to use it. Where as soon as the Nova Strike came into play, it was okay.
We're not going to talk about the black armor in Mega Man X4.
X5, X6.
I think it was the worst in X4. I think it was the most abusable in X4, but it was pretty bad in all of them.